All right, well, for more on this, let's bring in Greg Steube, Republican congressman from Florida. Thank you very much for talking to us. Let's talk about last week's proposal by McCarthy, which basically would allow and change a rule to allow any House member to force a vote to remove the speaker at any time. This is a demand from influential GOP opponents because under the current rules, of course, the only membership and only members of House leadership are able to do so. These are rules, obviously, that were implemented under Nancy Pelosi, who's been in office forever. How will McCarthy's proposal, you think, help his chances?
Yeah, his concession yesterday was to allow 5 members to move to vacate the chair, which would allow 5 members, and currently there's 5 that are saying they're not voting for him, to file a motion, and then you would have a motion to vacate the chair. That's been a sticking point of contention for the Freedom Caucus and these individuals that have been saying that they are refusing to vote for him. So he conceded on that point. There was a call yesterday amongst the conference. And then after that, and Chad referenced it, there's now 9 to 10 members are saying that those concessions are not going to be enough. So tomorrow, I guess we're going to see where all these members are going to be. We know 5 for sure that are no. He can only lose 4. And Chad, as he also alluded to, we keep voting until we get a speaker. And if you look in history, sometimes it's taken days, sometimes it's taken hours, sometimes it's taken weeks. So hopefully that's not going to happen. The American people voted us in the majority of the House. Kevin McCarthy won the conference vote by an overwhelming majority of the members of the conference. The American people want us to be unified. The American people want us to be unified around a leader that's going to go against the Biden administration and all of the leftist progressive policies of the Democrats. And that's what we need to show America tomorrow, not disunity and no direction.
Right. So we're talking about those 5 GOP votes of dissent. And it's a very close call here because McCarthy, as you know, needs at least 218 votes. The Republican majority or, party's slim majority in the House with 222 seats. So any additional defections could actually really jeopardize his chances. He faces a speaker election challenge, as you know, from Arizona Republican Representative Andy Biggs, along with GOP representatives Matt Gaetz, Ralph Norman, Bob Good, Matt Rosendale. They have all publicly expressed their plans to vote against, as you had just mentioned. Why is it that they're so hell-bent to prevent McCarthy from taking the speaker role?
I don't know. Maybe there's some personal animosity. I do know there's some policy issues. But again, you're not going to find that person in the conference that 218 people are you going to knight behind. Only Biggs ran against McCarthy in the conference race, and he lost 188 to 31. People like Jim Jordan, I think, would be great for the conference, but he didn't run, and he's supporting McCarthy. Trump is supporting McCarthy. There's a lot of conservatives out there like myself who are supporting McCarthy. I think he's going to do and govern conservatively when he has such a conservative conference behind him, supporting him. I just think it looks very bad to the American people if on the very first day that we take the majority back, we can't unify behind who our leader is going to be and fight together. We're going to all have disagreements about policy, but let's have that behind closed doors and step united for the American people against these woke policies and progressive ideology.
No, absolutely. I mean, there's got to be unity within the party. I mean, on day 1, January 3rd, my gosh, get it together. And the other thing that McCarthy's been very strong against is illegal immigration. He's gone to the border. He's invited the president to go to the border. He said that if he gets that speaker role, you've heard him, he's going to hold news conferences on the border, hoping that the White House will actually watch them so that they can see for themselves the border crisis. How do you think his stance on the border is turning off these GOP reps? Because you would think that his tough stance on the border would attract them to wanting him to be speaker.
Yeah, and that's the #1 issue that Americans are concerned about right now is the complete open border policies of this administration. And I can tell you members like myself on the Judiciary Committee are going to do everything that we can within our power when we get the gavels is to hold this administration accountable, have Secretary Mayorkas come in and explain the intentional and deliberate violations of federal law that Congress has passed and has been going on the southern border. And those are the type of things that you will see. But the Judiciary Committee can't start its business until the Speaker is elected. Members of the House can't even get sworn in until the Speaker is elected. So any delay of the speakership also delays the work like the Judiciary Committee going after Secretary Mayorkas and having accountability on the border and these policies that this administration has. So I'm certainly calling on all of us to unify behind who the conference voted as our chair, and we can move forward together and start fighting these disastrous policies from the White House.
All right, Congressman Steube, thank you very much for talking to us. Well said. Thank you.
Anytime.
Anita.